YouTube, what is going on? DA Comics here, coming back at you guys with another comic book pickups video. I don't even know what number of pickups this is, but I got a stack of comics to show you guys today, right here. Starting off with a couple of trades, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. First up, I got a couple Thor trade paperbacks. We got Thor, God of Thunder, Volume 1. This is the God Butcher story arc. I've never actually read this. And obviously I was familiar with the idea of Gore the God Butcher. Even before Thor Love and Thunder, I kind of knew of him. And then obviously Thor Love and Thunder came out and was awful. So I said, you know what? I think I need to see what it could have been. And wow, so much better. I did not realize that Esad Ribic actually did the art on this. He obviously did the art for Secret Wars 2015. I love his art style, so really cool, really good book. I also picked up volume number 2, which is God Bomb, the kind of second part of the Gore storyline, featuring the 3 different Thors on the cover here. You got future Thor, present Thor, and past Thor. I really liked that element of this story. I especially liked seeing Thor during Viking times. Like, that was a really interesting perspective of Thor as a character. So I really liked that. But yeah, awesome books. I'm still reading God Bomb. I haven't quite finished it yet. I'm about halfway through. But yeah, good stuff. Alright, moving along. We got our new releases. First up, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 26. Cover A is right here. I got cover A, and then I went ahead and picked up the spoiler variant just because I figured, you know what? I guess this might be worth money one day. I don't know. I don't care. This book was awful. Not even, aside from like the obvious gripes that everyone has with this current story arc with like Mary Jane and Paul and all of that. Like, even all of that aside, it's just really poorly written. I mean, it's just, the pacing is weird, and like the way this whole story arc has been jumping around between like past and present, and like, I don't know, it was just really hard to care about the story. I will show you guys this spoiler variant really quick. They had to make it all black, which is weird, but I get it. So obviously, spoilers alert if you have not read this issue, although I don't think you'll be surprised by the spoilers herein. So we got the front there. Backside has this little, hey, we had to protect the spoiler cover, yada yada. But if you open it up here, you can see the spoiler cover, which is obviously Spider-Man holding Miss Marvel in his hands. Really interesting dialogue around this book is the concept of fridging, which was a concept I had not heard about before, actually. It's basically when a woman character is killed off to progress a man character's story. It happens a lot in comic books, and so there was some dialogue around that, with them doing that for Miss Marvel, just randomly killing Miss Marvel to progress Peter's story, even though she had nothing to do with him. So, weird choice, but anyway. Moving along, we got Thor issue 34. This volume of Thor is coming to an end. It's a little bittersweet for me because I feel like Donny Cates didn't really get to finish his run. I don't know what is going on with him. I think maybe some personal things or what, but he kind of just dropped off the face of the earth in terms of the books he was writing, except for Vanish. So yeah, he kind of, hair in my mouth. He kind of just disappeared from this book, and then I'm not sure how to say. I believe it's her name, Groenbeck, took over after him just to kind of close it out. And yeah, I am excited though because the next run of Thor is Immortal Thor by Al Ewing, and I am very much looking forward to that. Because if it's obviously it's right there in the name. He's aiming to do what he did with Immortal Hulk. He's aiming to do it with Thor, and Thor is also one of my favorite characters, just like the Hulk. And I loved Immortal Hulk so much, so I really hope Immortal Thor is just as good. And I believe it will be, to be honest. I'm very excited. Next up, this is a fun one I saw on the shelf. We got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures. I saw this on the shelf. I didn't know this was a thing. It's from IDW, who obviously has the main TMNT comic series, which I keep meaning to pick up. It's just, I wanted to read through it to get caught up, and I read pretty far through it last year when I had COVID, but then I kind of fell off, and I need to get caught back up, but this is kind of a more whimsical Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The main comic series is obviously a little bit grittier, a little bit more serious. This is obviously meant to kind of emulate the old animated show. It has the same art style, same character looks, and yeah, I thought it was really fun. So I went ahead and picked it up, and I really enjoyed reading it. I do love the dark, serious TMNT, but I also love the whimsical TMNT. I mean, that's the Turtles I grew up on. So, sorry, I'm running out of breath. This first issue was pretty good. I'm looking forward to future story arcs because right now it's they're dealing with the Rat King, which is a villain that I don't actually really know a whole lot about. I didn't watch all of the animated show, so I think I might have missed his involvement in it. But looking forward to more issues in this book. Sorry, I said to breathe for a second. All right, next up we got Detective Comics, issue number 1072. Sorry about that glare. I tried to shut the window, but only helped so much. We got Solomon Grundy on the cover here. This book continues to be really cool, but hard to follow. I think I need to go back and reread this whole Gotham Nocturne arc, because I think I've lost the plot a little bit. There's a lot of characters and a lot of things going on, and it's a little overwhelming. I would definitely recommend when the trades come out, the collected editions, picking those up, because I think this is a story arc that will be best read at one time. Waiting month to month is making it a little bit hard to follow, but I'm definitely going to keep picking it up. I think it's really cool what they're doing with it. I love these covers. So definitely enjoying it, but my enthusiasm for this series has definitely gone down, in the sense that, like, when it first started, every new detective issue, if I saw there was one coming out that week, I was like, yes, new detective issue. Now it's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, new issue. So hopefully I can go back, reread those books, and kind of rekindle the excitement for that series. Then we got Action Comics 1055, Cyborg Superman Returns. This story arc is going pretty well. I'm definitely enjoying it. Yeah, I don't got much to say. I think Metallo's really cool and what they did with him, and obviously Cyborg Superman coming back is really cool, so I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm just going to leave that there as I dive into the next one. We have Carnage 13. I have a bone to pick with this book. It is notably missing the Carnage Reigns tag on there. The Miles Morales issue had Carnage Reigns part 1 of 9 or whatever, and I said in that, it was probably my last pickups video, I said, like, oh, I'm really glad they're doing that. I love when they do that. It makes it really easy at a glance to tell which one is which. And then it's not on this issue, so I don't know what happened there. Like, the Spider-Man team was like, oh, we're gonna put it on our cover, and then the symbiote team just, like, missed that, I guess. They didn't get the memo. I don't know. So a little disappointed about that. But as for the book itself, it was pretty good. Carnage Reigns is shaping up to be pretty good story. I wish Miles and Carnage would have interacted a little bit more in this issue, but it was kind of mostly just a Carnage story, and then Miles showed up at the very end. So looking forward to the next issue, which I think will be in Miles' series, to see them continue to face off. Next book is a little bit late. This came out a while ago. We got the new Guardians of the Galaxy series. I went ahead and picked up issue 1 and 2 because I had missed out on them. My comic store had actually sold out of them, so I had to find them elsewhere, and I finally did and got them. Pretty cool. Guardians roster is just these 5, so all characters from the movies, but notably missing Rocket and Groot, but that is explained. So Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Mantis, and Nebula. I'm okay with that roster. I feel like it's missing a little bit of comedic relief. I mean, Mantis is kind of meant to be the comedic relief, but I don't know. For me, I miss Rocket. I don't know where he's at. I didn't pick up the last run, so I don't know if he's off doing something or he died or whatever. I don't know. But Rocket Raccoon has always been my favorite Guardians character. Actually, Rocket and Groot. But something is going on with Groot that he's kind of like the villain of this first arc. So I'm interested to see where that goes. It's definitely interesting. But yeah, I'm definitely noticing the lack of Rocket Raccoon. I feel like we got to get him in there. But yeah, good stuff. Good book. I like that it's kind of stylized as a Western, at least for these first couple issues. I don't know if that'll stick that way, but that's how they're doing it to begin with. Next up, we got Doctor Strange, issue number 3, A Day with Dormammu. I really like that this book is kind of doing the same thing that the Fantastic Four series is doing, which is where each issue is kind of its own story, but they do connect and continue. So, like, they have consequences on the next issue. They have, lasting impacts that reference. So it's not like each one is a one-shot, but it kind of stands on its own. Like, you could pick up this book and read it and entirely, for the most part, understand what's going on. There'd be some referencing of past events, but they do an okay job of catching you up. And that's kind of the same as Fantastic Four. They would have a new issue come out that has its own story, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, well, what about that thing? And that's like kind of referencing the last issue. And I really like that format, specifically when I'm picking up a book monthly. I don't know how well it translates to collected editions. Like, if you were to read this run a couple years from now, all in a row, I'm not sure how well it would hold up. But for me, picking it up month to month, it makes it really easy because I don't have to remember really deep, intricate plots like Detective Comics, for example, where it is very much a segmented story and you're getting each segment 1 month at a time. The way I would describe it is like, imagine reading a book where you only read one chapter every month. You might remember last month's chapter, but by the time you get to the end of the book, you have forgotten the beginning of the book. That's kind of the problem with a lot of these longer, intricate comic storylines when you're picking them up month to month, is like, I don't remember what happened 6 months ago, So, all that to say, I really like this book and how they are writing it so far. Next up, we got Batman the Brave and the Bold number 1. This is a really ugly cover, but I really only picked this book up because it had a Tom King and, his name is right on the tip of my tongue. I'm going to open it up and check it. It's right, I know it, but I can't remember it. Mitch Gerads. I'm probably saying that wrong. Mitch Gerads, whatever. The creative team behind Batman One Bad Day, The Riddler. As you guys know, it's my favorite comic I've read in years, that book. And in this story, they are finally, they're back together doing a new mini-story. They're one of a few stories in this book. But they are tackling the Joker. So I'm very excited for that. This first issue was super interesting. Really only kind of whet your appetite. Really only got things started. But I'm really excited to keep going with this series and picking up the next few, because the Joker is awesome. And this story is awesome. Let me see if I can get a good page to show you guys. Yeah, this panel pretty much says it all. It's freaking awesome. So, really good. If you were a fan of Batman One Bad Day, The Riddler, go and pick this one up. It kind of flew under the radar a little bit, but I had heard about it and I knew I wanted to pick it up. Next up, we got Vanish, number 7. Mentioned this earlier. Donny Cates' pretty much only remaining series at the moment. And luckily for me, it's my favorite one. I really hope that this isn't also going to go on a hiatus like his other books. I know it has a planned hiatus after issue 8. Or not, no. Yeah, after issue 8, volume 2. They usually take a couple month break to wait for the trade to come out and then dive into volume 3. So hopefully that is just still the plan and we will dive into volume 3 as planned. But loving this book. I think I'm enjoying volume 2 even more than volume 1. Because volume 1 kind of just threw you in the deep end and a lot was going on, whereas volume 2, it kind of had a moment to slow down a little bit and have some major story beats and a little bit more characterization. We're getting to know Oliver a little bit better. We're getting to know his wife a little bit better. I'm blanking on her name right now, but really, really good. This cover is obviously amazing. I did manage to pick it up in foil, continuing my streak. I still have the entire series in foil, and I plan to keep it that way for pretty much forever. So whenever the day comes, if this series does ever end, which it has to end eventually, but whenever this series ends, if they continue to do the foil cover for every issue, I intend to have this entire series in foil. I did get this one at my store, actually. for cover price, so that was nice. It's relatively, I've found that if I manage to get to my comic store right when they open, I can pretty consistently get the foil variant because he does put it on the shelf. You just have to get there early in the day to get it. So, awesome book. Very, very happy about that. And I'm going to go ahead and move those off here. All right. So those are all of my new releases. Now we're going to dive into some back issues. Mostly some goody Copper Age comics. Nice and cheap Copper Age comics. But I really love the Copper Age. I just think the art style is really great. And I like that they are affordable. So first up, we got Spider-Man number 43 with Iron Fist. Saw this book, and I really like Iron Fist as a character, and generally when Spider-Man and Iron Fist cross over, I think it's really cool, so I wanted to pick that one up. I also got issue 33 with the Punisher, and a second Spider-Man. So really interesting cover. I got Punisher in the back. Punisher and Spider-Man, always a good crossover. Punisher is technically a Spider-Man side character. He was first introduced in Spider-Man, so I really love when they cross over. Then we got Detective Comics issue 591. Pretty much picked this book up just because it's a really awesome cover. I don't know how well it's showing up on the camera, but on this green in the back, there's just like purple lines etching this really intricate art that just looks really cool. I mean, that's very well done. Very artistic, and I like it. Then we got Avengers number 363. This kind of foil textured cover. You guys know I'm a sucker for all the special treatments comics have, and definitely in the 90s is when they really started to play around with the kind of foil, holographic, textured covers. And then they kind of stopped for a while, and now we're seeing that kind of coming back today with foil variants and things like that. But this cover has Captain America and Black Knight on it with this kind of silver textured cover. I just thought that was really, really cool. It's part of the 30th anniversary celebration of Avengers, so very happy with that. Next up, we got Ghost Rider number 41, and look at that cover. You got the orange chains on either side, kind of framing a very vertical art, and then the title right there, Road to Vengeance, the Missing Link. I just love the amount of orange on this cover. It really makes it pop. The chains on the side kind of frame it really well. Really, really cool book. Moving those out of the way. Next up, we got the Incredible Hulk 414. We got Silver Surfer and Space Hulk on the cover. This is the Trojan War Part 2 of 4. I just really liked this cover. It's got this kind of framing here with the stars on the side. I think really looks really cool. And obviously, Silver Surfer is an awesome character who was really shining in the Copper Age. So, really awesome book there. Next up, we got The Mighty Thor 487. This is just an awesome cover. I'm going to try and block the glare there so you can see it. We got Thor in the mouth of what looks to be a big dragon. Might be the World Serpent. Not sure. I have not read this issue, but I just really love the art style there. We got the slime on the teeth, kind of reminiscent of Venom a little bit. But yeah, these Copper Age Thor books are just so cool. And I do really love the style of the Thor title at this time. The kind of font that they used is really cool. You can see it a little bit better in this next book, which is Mighty Thor 478. Replaced in Asgard by another Thor. Kind of featuring this more mythologically accurate Thor. This is more what Thor looked like in actual Norse mythology when he's not a superhero. I have a couple Bronze Age Thor books that also have kind of a more accurate Thor in them, so I think he's kind of a recurring character, recurring theme in the book. But really cool cover. You got Odin in the back here, the two Thors fighting. Really fun stuff going on there. Next, and second to last, we have a new series that I'm picking up some back issues for. A lot of these, I've been collecting Thor, Hulk, what else did I have? Ghost Rider, things like that. But I wanted to dive into a new book to collect some back issues, and this is the original Volume 1 of Guardians of the Galaxy. Just some really cool books. An unrecognizable team if all you know is the movies or the recent comic books. We have Guardians of the Galaxy 41. If Loki is here, can the mighty Thor be far behind? So kind of them on the Rainbow Bridge with future Loki. This series actually takes place during the 31st century. So the original Guardians of the Galaxy was a team from the future. And that's kind of where these books take place. They also did a lot of time travel, so they did spend a lot of time in the present day of the comics back then, and crossing over with other characters, but this is in the future. This next book is just so beautiful. Guardians of the Galaxy issue 25. We were just talking about how I like all of those special treatments. This is a foil etched cover, so it is like very textured on all of the little details on Galactus. My camera's getting a little laggy there, sorry. But yes, nice, beautiful cover featuring Galactus. I love Galactus. He's one of my favorite villains. I think he's a villain that I love to see cross over with a lot of my favorite heroes. I mean, he's obviously a Fantastic Four villain. He can be a Thor villain. He can, he can fight the Hulk. He's just a really awesome villain. You see him in Avengers, things like that. So, really, really cool character, and I just love this cover. When I saw this, I knew I had to pick it up. It is just beautiful. Next, another beautiful cover with another character I love. Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 13. My camera's dropping quality a little bit, but beautiful cover here. We've got the Ghost Rider of the future. He's riding a space motorcycle through space. Just a really cool cover. I saw this book on Instagram, actually. Another Instagrammer posted a photo of their copy, and I was like, that is really cool. And I took note of the issue number, and then when I went to my comic store, I checked to see if they had it, and they did. And that was actually what ended up getting me to buy the rest of these Guardians books, was because I started flipping through their Guardians tab and saw some cool books. So I'm probably going to get some more. I really like these books. I think they have a lot of character, and I just think they're really cool. And so I'm probably going to start collecting a bit more of them. I think the run went for around 100 issues. So not too big of a volume, but definitely worth a pickup. So really excited about those. And now the last book that I have this week is a Silver Age book. I also picked up mainly because I just love this cover. It is World's Finest, number 181. This is now my third World's Finest comic book. Trying to pick up a few more just so I can justify having a section for it in my boxes, because right now I only have two in my kind of DC A to Z section. But I really like these books. I like crossovers between Superman and Batman, so I definitely want to pick up some more and kind of expand this collection a little bit. Because World's Finest has a lot of fun books, and this cover is just so cool. The Hunter and the Hunted. It's got Superman and Batman being chased by this animal. I don't even know what it is. You got the moon in the background, the kind of purple with the haze and the trees. It's just a really, really cool cover. I really love that art. Superman's face, very expressive. So, really happy with that pickup. And that's pretty much it for me for this video. One shout out I gotta make, if you guys haven't, consider going and giving me a follow on Instagram. It's just at DA Comics. I'm trying to really build out my Instagram page, because my YouTube, I've obviously, I've got it pretty much sorted with what I'm doing here, pickups and other videos. Obviously, I need to be a little bit more consistent with making those, but I really want to grow my Instagram, and I've been trying to post every day, a couple times a day, just pictures of comics from my collection, just kind of showcasing books that I have and celebrating the really awesome comics that we've gotten over the decades. And yeah, so if you want to go and give me a follow, I'd really appreciate it. If you want to tell your friends, all of that, because yeah, I'm really trying to be more active on there and kind of grow my Instagram a little bit more. But anyway, that's all for this video. We'll see you guys in the next one. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like. And of course, comment your thoughts down below. What did you think of any of these books? What are some cool books you've picked up recently? Let me know. I read every single comment, so I'd love to see your guys' thoughts. I would say pick of the week for me is probably going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy 25. I've just been staring at this book like the last week, just because I just think it's so cool. So that's probably pick of the week for me, but it's so hard to choose. I mean, the new Vanish issue, the World's Finest, all of these different back issues are all so cool. So I don't know if I can really pick a favorite, but I'm probably going to save this one for pick of the week. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.